Hi everyone, happy Monday. It is planner day and we have this really lovely picture. This is from Enchanted Forest, which used to be my favourite Johanna Basford book. I think Worlds of Wonder probably is now, not sure. It changes a little bit, but I really like this picture. There's a lot of little detail in this one. So I've chosen my Black Widow pencils just because I can sharpen them to a nice fine point. I'm not sure how much of this picture we're going to do, but I shall get in a bit closer so you can see. And we'll probably start with the castle actually, and I'll just get colouring and talking. I've had quite an exciting day, so I shall tell you about that while I colour. This are my Black Widows. Just before I start nattering, getting carried away, I have the Spider set and the Cobra set, so I only have two sets. I don't know whether you have some or none or whatever, but you can sort of follow along in similar colours. So I'm going to use the Aquarius, which is sort of bluey green, for the water, and just start there really. Yeah, I had a bit of my son was home this morning, which was nice, so I was just colouring a picture in and chilling really. I did a little bit of bits and bobs. I have got work that I should be doing, but I just wasn't in the right mindset. It's Friday today. I know I said happy Monday, it's Friday here, and I've got that Friday feeling, but my work, I don't have to do it yet. I told him I wouldn't start until the week after next, so because I've got other projects on the go. So anyway, so I wasn't in a rush. It's in my head. I've got to sort of plan what I'm doing anyway. So anyway, my son was home, so that was nice. I kept having to nag him about getting his work done, but you know how it is. But what was exciting was I've just listened to. I was watching people's videos actually, their March completed pages videos this morning, because it's actually the 1st of April today when I'm making this video. I want to add a little bit of green into that. I think it's a little bit blue. Just trying to pick a nice colour. Maybe the Venom would be a good one. It's a little bluey green. Just going to add a bit on top really. Yeah, so I was watching people's completed pages, which is always inspiring, and there's some beautiful pictures, which was nice. And there was one, I'm really sorry, I don't remember because I watched quite a few, with used loads of glitter, and it made me think I need to add a bit more glitter and sparkle to some of my pages. It was just beautiful, but of course it's finding the balance, getting it just right, and not overdoing it and putting it in the right places. But I've got some glitter pens, the Castle Arts ones, so I need to just start using them a bit more really, I think. I want to make this water quite solid because I'm going to do some white. These black lines, I'm going to add to them with some white. So I'm going to go back to the Aquarius and just add another layer. So that was fun. But I didn't think my camera was working properly. I couldn't get it to switch on. In the end, I took the battery out and blew the dust off it, and that got it working. But anyway, I watched the Johanna Basford interview by Barbara Culler. I don't know, you may have already seen it, but because it was a while ago. But what was exciting about that was that Johanna showed a few pages from her new book, Rooms of Wonder, which I hadn't seen before. I think there were sort of new sneaky peeks that she hasn't sort of put on her social media. So it's certainly worth watching that interview. Obviously it's fun watching Johanna interviewed anyway, and you probably have seen it. But we're going to get some grey for the little path. I think I'm going to use the charcoal. All of these, by the way, are from the Cobra set so far. I haven't dipped into my Spider set yet. Anyway, she showed these pages. One was a mushroom room. Now I love colouring mushrooms. I think we've got some on this page up there. And the room was all, she said it was an underground room, and then mushrooms were growing underground, and there was some sort of lights down there as well, which was fun. And I think that looks quite like a concrete path. I think I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to dip into my spider set now and use my Fang Green for the sort of grassy bit. And she, oh, that's quite dark. I'll add something lighter on top in a minute. And then on the facing page of the mushroom room was a page full of little mushrooms. It reminds me of the, in Lost Ocean there's a page all full of little circular things. And in World of Flowers there's a page all full of tiny flowers. It was one of those type pages. I was like, oh, a page of mushrooms. I love colouring mushrooms. I mean, it would take ages, but, you know, small detailed pages always do, but so much fun. So that was fun. So I looked at that, and that was exciting. And she did a second picture, just looking for another colour. I think I use this one. It's a bit fluorescent. I need to sharpen it. She showed another picture from the book, which was a rainbow room. She said Evie had asked for it. Hold on, I just need to fiddle with my cables a minute. There we go. This is the Cicada, and I'm going to go over the top of that grass just to brighten it a little bit, so that it stands out from the water. And I did say I was going to do some white on the water, but I don't really want to do it until I have done the castle, or else I'm going to rub my hand all over it. So she said, yeah, Evie was poorly. Her girls have had chicken pox recently, which you may be aware of if you've seen any of her social media. And she, no, that's when she drew the Harry Potter room, sorry, with the owls and the parcels and things. No, this story was, I can't remember. Anyway, she drew a, I'm looking for my next colour while I'm talking. It's not always the best thing. She drew a rainbow room. It was for Mia, that's right, for her other daughter. And it has all sorts of weather in jars and things like that. So that was great fun. I'm going to, and a big rainbow in the background. I'm going to use banana to do the windows. But my other excitement, which is why I'm struggling to get my words out, is my sister is going to be on the telly. She on a local news programme, Midlands Today. It's local for her. I don't think it's my local. I can watch it online though. Probably about now actually. But anyway, I'm going to watch it later on iPlayer. It's a BBC news programme. It's a local one, and they're interviewing her in her shop about the energy price hikes, which I think are happening everywhere really. Are in the UK, for those not in the UK, our energy prices are all going up today. It's the 1st of April today, when I'm recording this, it's a bit early, isn't it? Our prices are sort of semi-controlled by the government, so or a independent sort of body, and they're going up today. And a lot of people buy a big, you know, a significant amount. So they're interviewing her about this. I'm going to try using the dim grey for the roof, because I want the it to look a bit like slate. And so she's being interviewed in her shop. Now she's got a little shop in Shrewsbury, so any of you that live nearby, you can go and say hello. She's in the Parade Shops, which is a shopping centre outside of the centre of town in the old hospital, if anyone knows Shrewsbury. And but she's got her little boys with her. I say little, sort of 9 and 11 I think they are. I always think they're little, I haven't seen them for a while. And so I'm hoping they might be on the programme as well, but I don't know. So I'm excited to watch and see if they're on it. And they're going to talk to her about energy prices, and I think she's going to talk about it from the point of view of her business and personally as well, and how it's going to sort of affect her. So that's quite fun. And obviously the fact that energy prices are going up so much is not massively exciting, but the fact that they're interviewing her is really fun. So I'm going to check that out later. At the moment I'm just doing plain colouring on these roofs, and I'm going to add another colour to make them look more interesting in a minute, and you'll see. So yeah, I'm going to check. Apparently there's a little bit on the lunchtime news, and then there's going to be a bigger bit on the evening news. So that'll be fun. The ironic thing is she doesn't have a television or a television license. In the UK you have to buy a license to watch TV, and it goes towards the cost of the BBC making their programmes. Although that might be going to change soon as well, apparently. But anyway, she doesn't pay for her license because she doesn't really watch television. So, well, she doesn't watch television, so she doesn't have a license. So that's fair enough. But it means she can't watch herself flat black. But she said maybe she didn't really want to watch herself anyway. I have to agree that watching yourself, even though I can't see myself on my videos, isn't always much fun, just listening to yourself. But anyway, so I'm just putting a layer of flat black on the edges to try and make these turrets look a little bit more spherical. It's not really working that well, but hey, giving it a go anyway. It's nearly time for her program. I think I'm going to stop and watch it and then come back, because otherwise I'm just going to be distracted thinking about it all the time. So I'm just going to finish these little turrety bits, and then I'm going to stop the video for a minute, have a watch of her news programme. I don't really want to watch the news, I don't do that, but and come back and I'll let you know how it went. So I'll be back. I am back. I tried to watch the TV show and I can't watch it, which is a little bit frustrating. I'm going to tidy up this a little bit because I did rush at the end. And I'm going to use the actual black, which is called just Black Widow, to just do the edges. Yeah, it seems that because I don't live in the same TV region, I can't receive that channel. I thought I would just be able to go onto the internet and find it, but you have to sign in, and so it knows where I live, so it's a bit disappointing. But I might be able to catch up on it later maybe, so I'll have to have a look and see. But hey ho. But unfortunately she was saying she hasn't had any customers in the shop all day, and she thought maybe they saw this film crew there this morning and it sort of put them off going in. I think it would me. She's always quite happy in front of a camera chattering away, but I'm not. She says if she's behind a camera chattering away, it's very different being behind a camera. So this is the dim grey and that we used to start with. I'm just going to tidy it up. I think it's a little bit messy. So yeah, I find it quite different. You can't see me. It makes such a difference. Also, I'm in complete control over what's shown. So if I say or do anything silly, which I don't usually, then I can just edit it out. But I've never done that. Once I think I said something that I decided to edit out, but normally I don't. Just trying to smooth that off. So anyway, my exciting day is suddenly a bit less exciting, but hey, never mind. There we go. I should have, while I was fiddling around trying to figure out how to use the look at everything online, think about what colour castle to do, but I don't really know. But I'm having a look at the rest of the picture, so I shall zoom out and show you and think about the colours that I'm going to use. So I'm thinking I might do these quite multicoloured, the birds, the shields. It's going to be golds and silvers. There'll be a lot of greens, red toadstools, more greens here, and we have a silver sword and things like that, and maybe some gold or red dragons. So I'm thinking that I might use some pinks and purples in the castle because it'll be a really different colour to the rest. So that's what I'm going to do. I should just straighten it up a little bit. I'm just going to turn off the news off my computer. It's just playing away to itself. There we go. And it was a bit distracting. So I'm looking at my pinks and purples. I think I will actually go for purpley type shades. I'm going to start with this one. This is called Tulip. It is slightly pinky purple, and I'm going to do all over the whole castle with this one, and then we'll grab a darker shade and put in a few details. You can do it the other way round. You can put the dark one down first, but either way, I'm happy with these particular pencils. Sometimes some pictures, some colours, it's better to do it one way or the other. But I don't know. With these pencils in this picture, I think it'll be fine. I'm not pressing mega hard though, because I do want to add other layers of colour. And the tooth on the paper is fairly good, but the tooth is how it's hard to describe. It's the way the paper is made. It's not so much the thickness as the roughness of the paper. And if it's the rougher it is, the more layers of pencil you seem to be able to get down into the paper. So a sort of, there are some really toothy papers that you wouldn't use for pencil work, and because you'd have to layer forever. But you want some tooth there so that you can add a few different layers of colour, which is always useful. Just trying to avoid the flags. I have decided what colour I'm going to do those. So I was watching, who was it? Was it Miss Martley on YouTube yesterday, and testing some really cheap budget $5 pencils, and there was about 48, and she was saying she had to press so hard to get a little bit of colour out of them that the tooth of the paper was just flattened. And yeah, I have had experience of pencils like that, usually kiddie pencils. Where was I? I was in Waterstones once, and I'm just choosing my next shade of purple. My kids were looking at the books, as they used to always love to do, Amethyst. I'm going to do the edge of each little tower or section of castle and try and make it quite dark on the edge, and then just scumble it slightly towards the middle to fade it a little bit so it doesn't look like a really definite line, but the colours hopefully sort of fade into each other a little bit. Anyway, I was in Waterstones, and I sat down. There's a little table in Waterstones for the kids to sit down and colour and draw, and I was like, ooh. So while mine were looking at the books, I think I'd finished looking at books, and I sat down and I did some colouring. And it was a kiddies colouring book, you know, with the really big pictures with lots of space to colour. But the pencils, oh my, they were so hard, I could barely get any colour out of them. I was pressing and pushing and layering, and it might have been the book as well, I don't know. It was often kiddies colouring books have really sort of rough. I don't think I've coloured in those windows. They're really pale. I might just have another go at those. We used the banana for the windows. It might just be because there's such a small space we can't see it. So yes, no, I don't know if that made any difference, never mind. So yes, that was hard work. So, and I remember as a child thinking pencils were a bit rubbish and always preferring to use crayons. The big, thick, chunky crayons were always fun, but you couldn't stay in the lines because they're so thick. But they would be nice and vibrant, whereas I found the thinner ones would snap. No, that wouldn't annoy me, just snapping. And then it would be too small to hold. Needed a crayon extender. I've got one now. I shall have to go back in time and give it to my child self. But I remember, I don't remember doing loads of colouring at home. My mum used to colour. It's really funny, I must remind her. She used to do some pens colouring with pens. So, and sometimes her pictures would be up on the wall, I remember. But that's fun. And she went through a phase of doing quite a few different pictures. She would sort of have it rolled up. It was like a poster. She would have it rolled up and pop it away and then get it out on a weekend or something when we had some time to sort of all sit about and have some fun together. And she'd sit at the table, or sometimes on her lap. I think she had it, she would masking tape it to a board and have it on her lap, that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. and yeah, she would colour in, so that was fun. And I would probably do some as well, but I don't really remember. I'm going to do the flags in pink, and I think I used this one. It could do with the sharpen, but I'll just show you. It's called Plum Pudding. Oops. I think it's a bit of a magenta-y. It's quite a reddy pink, but it'll be nice and vibrant for those flags. Whoops, that's not enough sharpening. There we go. So yeah, so maybe that's where I got it from. My dad likes art too, but he hasn't done any for ages. He's sort of more into his music now, playing the saxophone, the keyboard. But he used to do watercolour. Yeah, pretty much mainly watercolour. He didn't really draw, he just got on and painted. He might have done a sort of quick sort of outline, a sketchy type thing, but he really just painted, I seem to remember. Now the front door of our castle, I was just going to do it as a wood door, but now I'm wondering whether I should do it in a dark purple. I think it might be fun. So if I do I've got two really nice purples, oops, really dark purples in my Cobra set. You can see they just look black, don't they? We've got a space and a grape, and the space is slightly darker. So I'm going to start with the grape. I'm going to do the whole of the door and the frame quite lightly with the grape on the frame, because I want that to look the lightest. Then I'm sort of going to ignore the door handles, I'm afraid. Then I'm going to do the door a little bit darker with this one. You can see the difference. Just trying to get that fairly even. I'll just put a bit more, as much as I think I can get away with there around the frame. And then I'm going to use the space to just put some shadow between the door and the frame, and it will make the door look like it's just set back a little bit from the door frame, like that. I'm not going to do much more. I'm just going to even out a little bit down here. There we go. Now what I might do as well with this grape colour is go underneath the windows, particularly the big ones, but maybe not the small ones, just to make like a little shadow or windowsill, something like that. I might not do all the round ones, they're quite difficult. Just a few, just to add a little bit of interest into our building. There we go. That'll do. And now we've got the sky to think about. I'm just going to brush. Whoops! I'm just going to drop my brush. There we go. So there's our sky. Now I want quite a light sky blue, but all I really have in this set that isn't really dark is the forget-me-not blue. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to try and use it lightly. So I'm going to do my best to do little circles and try and keep it even and light. You can see it's already quite a deep blue. It's not a sort of really pale blue, pastel-y blue by any stretch. But hopefully, if I do it like this, it might just, because I want it to be a background, not a sort of imposing sky. You could do a little sunset behind him. In fact, a tiny picture like this is quite a good place to practice something like a sunset, because it's such a small area. But I could have shown you that, couldn't I? But now it's blue. But I think if I actually, in this case, if I was going to do a sunset sky behind this castle, I would probably do the castle in black, like a silhouette, to really showcase that sunset. But it's not going to be like that. Now it's trying to make sure you get into all the nooks and crannies using the even pressure. It's quite difficult, but I'm doing my best. It's not going to be perfect, never is. Nothing is. Whoever colours, however good it looks, that colourist has probably found a fault with it. where it didn't quite look how they wanted, and it can be a little bit annoying when you see a really amazing picture and someone says, oh, it didn't turn out how I wanted, I don't like this, I don't like that, and you look at it and you think, if I did that in a blink, I would be so proud, you know. But we just have to remember that all of us are self-critical. It's very easy to look on someone else's and think how brilliant it is, but when we look at our own, probably not so impressed. It might be just as good. Right, leaves. Let's do some leaves, and we may not do loads more. I'm not going to be able to do the whole thing because there is it's going to take forever. Well, forever is quite a long time actually, but no, it's not going to take forever. It'll take a long time, and I would have made this into a selection of videos, but I've got other ones to come which are more Eastery and spring-like, which is what I've been wanting to share with you this week. So I've got those coming up. So I'm going to start with the forest. Now all my leaves will be with this combo. Now there's leaves coming here and up here. There's leaves up here, and I'm going to use the same combo for them all. So I'll just show you how I'm going to do it. This is going to be my first colour. So I'm going to do the bottom of the leaves in a darker colour. I do this a lot. I find it pleases me anyway. And just fade that green to the tip. Like that. Okay. So keep it darker and where it overlaps. And then fade it to the tip, and we can do that on every leaf around this sort of shield, I guess it is. Then we've got another one at the top, a sort of crest, you can't see. Can we see all the leaves? I'm just checking that you can see what I'm doing. But anyway. I think I've told you all my excitements. I will try and find out how to spew this bit of news somehow. I would like to see it because I think my nephews might be in the film. She didn't say. I don't know if they will, because unless they're standing beside her silently, because it's not really they're not going to worry about costs of this and that. They're little. Hopefully not anyway, shouldn't be. But we'll see. I'm hoping I might see them soon. Around my nephew's birthdays, just before Easter. But we'll see, because it might not quite work out, because some of the family are unwell. Well, I'll just say it. My mum's got COVID, and so we're not sure. She's fine. She got it the day after she had her booster jab, but so I'm not sure how that's going to impact it. But at the moment she seems fine. She'll pass it to my dad, no doubt. They're not trying to stay separated from each other. So, and we saw them just before she tested positive, but we don't think that it was a close enough time for us to get it. But we've had it before, so we're not worried. We don't want to have to get it, obviously, because we don't want to stay in. We don't have to in the UK. You don't have to stay in. But you never know. We feel like we should stay in and protect other people. My husband isn't allowed to go to work if he's got it, but he'll get sick pay, so that's okay. I work from home, so it doesn't affect me, but the children, I'm not sure what the rule is for their college. I don't know what I'd have to phone up and find out, because obviously I wouldn't want to send them in if they don't want them to be there, but they don't want to miss. But they would miss if they were told to, because they're good boys, and they would probably worry about others anyway. But we'll have to wait and see. As I say, we've had it before. We had it before we even had vaccines, so we know that we're okay. But I'm trying to pick my second green. I've got a lot to choose from. And I could use the one I used for the grass, but then I think it might just fade the grass back too much. So I think I'm going to use my Cobra, but I'm always a little bit reluctant to use my little favourite green because he's going to run out, but you know, you mustn't not use things. So here he is, Cobra. It's a green, and it's a sort of olivey green. You'll see when I pop it on. It's nice. I really like it anyway. It's making things, it looks a little bit brownish. But sort of, that one bit did there, but it doesn't normally. I think sometimes I don't know if the pigment hasn't mixed up really well. I was using a pencil the other day and the pigment hadn't been mixed properly, and I got a big blob of the wrong colour. It was a yellow and I got a big load of red. It's like, oh, and it came out all scratchy, so I couldn't erase it, so I had to just incorporate it. I think we learn to be inventive and creative. I guess creativity is part of colouring anyway, but covering mistakes is something I do a lot. See, that one looks quite brown there too, but I like it. I'm happy. I've just bought a book about being happy. Came out yesterday. But I am a happy person. I'm always positive. I've done the positive thinking courses and read books and things and put into practice. This is the thing. It's all very well reading a book, but you have to put it into practice. Now the book on happiness is, I'll show you. Ooh. It's oh, you can't see. It's this book here. Ooh. Here we go. It's not out in America until May, but in the UK it just came out on the 31st of March. And I got my husband to order it because sometimes I fear his priorities aren't quite right. So I got him to order it because I think it's important he have a look at it. And but I started reading it because although I'm a happy person, it's just this chap. I follow the author. I follow him on Instagram. I find him really fascinating. All his things are backed up by science, and you know, I find it really interesting. So I just want to have a little read. His books are very good in that they're written in a really easy way to absorb, because although he quotes scientific experiments, it was found out by this person, things like that, it's all written in a way that anyone can understand. I have studied science, so I should be able to sort of follow it, but it's easier for me if it's easy and simple. Now I'm just trying to decide what to do with this line around the edge, and then I'm going to finish. Zoom out a little because we've got this tufty bit at the top. I'm thinking I quite like to do a gold. Now I'm tempted to use a gold pen or some gold sparkles, but I think I'm going to do it in pencil and show you, and then when I've finished, if I think it needs some sparkles, I might go over it in a gold pen. We'll see. So gold. Huntsman first. This is a dark brown. I always start with a dark brown. So where am I going to put it? I don't know. I'm just going to start and put it in a few places. So the dark brown I don't do that much of. You need a bit of dark so that you've got some contrast from dark to light, and then it looks more shiny. You'll see what I mean once we get going. And I'm going to put a bit here, and a bit at the top, I reckon. Just a little bit there and a bit more at the bottom of each of these. I'm going to colour this bit in gold as well. You may have seen me do metallics before, but maybe not with these, I'm not sure. But we get a good range in the spider set, which can make a great gold. So we've got Tarantula next, which is a lighter brown. We basically go over the top of what we've done already. I was talking earlier about the tooth of the paper. I'm not too sure. Like that. Try not to go over the dragon's hands. Okay. yeah, I think being happy is so important. I realise it's not something we can do all the time. I think some people say, you know, have this sort of philosophy that if you're not happy some of the time, then it makes the happy times feel better. I don't agree with that at all. I see no reason why we can't be happy all of the time or most of the time, Foxy Brown, and why we wouldn't appreciate that. It's going to look quite brown there, isn't it? I think I might have started a bit dark. Never mind. But yeah, I try and do things that make me happy. Obviously, I try and avoid things that make me unhappy as well. There's sort of double. So things like I really dislike driving, so I don't do it. It petrifies me, basically. I get so anxious. And so I just made the decision one day that I was going to stop. That it wasn't doing me any good, that I didn't really need to do it, and I was going to stop. And I know some people find that driving is really freeing and it allows them to do things they wouldn't be able to do otherwise. This is Stinkbug, and I completely understand that. But for me, it didn't. You know, I've got, I had children, and no, I couldn't take them on public transport because we had a double buggy. Getting twins onto a bus or a train with a double buggy was just almost impossible. But I could walk around locally. I sort of was happy being at home, really, with them, because I found it quite difficult. I was quite tired. So I was happy. Excuse me, I'm trying to choose my yellows. I'm going to go with the mustard. This is from the Cobra set. I'm not going all the way back to the over everything with this one. I'm just going to draw that out a little bit. I still need some white. I've still got another colour to go. So we're going to have a bit of a problem when it comes to here. I'll just go over what's there with that one. There we go. And my last yellow is going to be one we've used before. It's going to be the banana. Okay, and this I am going to go over everything. I'll start up here. Now it's a good idea to leave a white area to make it look shiny, but on these it's going to be a little tricky to do that, but I'm going to try. Yeah, so I didn't miss driving and I felt so much more relaxed, so much happier not having to do it. Because it was like, oh, you need to keep up your driving practice, so you better drive home tonight, or you better drive to this place. Oh, I don't want to do it. So I didn't. I stopped. But I know some people have to drive for work. Some people love driving. Good for you. Enjoy it and have fun with it. It just wasn't for me. There we go. There's our shield. Edge, whatever you might call it. But I'm going to finish now because, you know, I've taken quite a long time already, and I finish it off. I will put a finished picture of this on my Facebook. You can I've got Rachel Henson Colouring Facebook page where I put a lot of my completed work. I put links to my videos so you can find them easily, and other bits and bobs, like if I find any free good offers or free colouring pages, or I've got any bits of news, anything like that. But also I try to put a colouring page up every day that I've completed, and this will be one of them, and I will try to put it up on the day this video goes out so that it's there ready. I'll also try to put it on Instagram and Pinterest and Reddit. I put things on all of these. Reddit, I don't do finished pages that often. Pinterest, I try to, but I don't always remember. So my Facebook page is the best place to go to find everything. I've also just noticed that these two bits of shine don't line up. I would really, ideally, probably should have lined them up. But never mind. It's okay. I'm not going to stress about it. So that's where you will be able to find the finished page if you want some inspiration, and it will probably go, I usually put my pictures out at midnight UK time, so this video goes out at 7:15 in the morning UK time, and I put a picture out at midnight, so it'll be quite a while to wait, but you will see it on my Facebook page. You can just, if you follow me on Facebook, follow my, what do you do when it's a page? Do you like it? Do you follow it? I can't remember. Anyway, you sort of sign up for it and you can see notifications. But remember, on Facebook you have to say, you go to your settings and say that I want to see posts from this site, because it doesn't always show you everything that everyone posts. But or you can just pop to the site, type in Rachel Henson Colouring and find me and go and look that way. But anyway, I've blathered on for long enough. Thank you for watching. I hope the purple castle was to your taste. I think it's looking quite cute. And have a wonderful day. Enjoy your Monday and happy colouring.